As we shared with you last week, the Nebraska Women in Ag event recently took place out in Kearney. The two-day event had something for everyone, including for cattle producers. One workshop, which was titled Beef Nutrition Made Simple, gave attendees a better grasp on the basics of beef nutrition and ration formulation in a simple and interactive manner. Market Journal's Bill Dodd has this story.
Make it simple. This is the stuff that drives.
At this year's Women in Ag Conference, Extension educator Alfredo DiCostanzo made the point that he believes beef prices will be very good for producers this year. That means a good nutrition plan could benefit a producer's bottom line as well as their cattle's development. Beef nutrition can seem complicated at times. However, the message he had for his audience is it wasn't as complicated as we often make it out to be.
We make it complicated. It's not that complicated. So we used visuals and logic to make it simple, and narrowing the range of concern for which the person should worry about for the amount of energy that should be in a feed. This year, beef prices are going to be very good. We've been hearing about it for a long time. There's actually, the trends are showing on the futures for feeder and fed cattle. So we expect feeder calves to sell at a premium relative to 2022 and of course 2021. So my message to producers this year is we have to be sure that nutrition programs, particularly mineral and vitamin, are well laid out so that these cattle can survive any challenges with immune function and also grow well so that we can sell the most pounds by having the most cattle to sell at the highest possible weight in the fall.
There are many tools in the arsenal of a cattle producer when it comes to making nutritional decisions for their herd. One tool that shouldn't be overlooked or underestimated is the implementation of body condition scoring.
Body condition score is a tool to use in mature cows, in the regular cow herd, attempting to determine from a visual appraisal of fat cover what their energy status is at that point. With the expectation, of course, that during lactation, these cows will milk themselves out, giving that milk to their babies, so that in the early parts of lactation, it's a time of concern to be sure that we have those cows in sufficient condition score so they're ready to rebreed. They have about 80 days to rebreed. We want them at a condition score of 5. If they're a mature cow, condition score of 6. If they're a young cow just coming onto the herd. And then come around to weaning time. That is the time when their energy requirements are lowest. Hopefully it was a good year, so they have enough condition. Condition again of 5 on the cows, 6 on the young animals. And then over the course of the winter, we just strive to keep that condition at that level. If a year like this one where drought was prevalent in 2022, we need to work them back and bring that condition up from a 4 to a 5 or to a 6, depending on the age of the animal.
Beef nutrition is not a one-size-fits-all concept. When it comes to determining different needs for different cattle, age will be a major factor in dictating varying nutritional needs.
Age is a big determinant for needs, and the main reason is they cannot eat enough to meet their needs with a lower quality feed. So if we're trying to feed a young calf after weaning with a high proportion of forage, hay for example, you can do it, but they will not gain hardly any weight because they just cannot eat enough to satisfy their growing needs. So age is the big one, and then what we're doing, what their function is, right? So a cow that is pregnant eventually needs to have sufficient amount of energy and protein to raise that baby to term, healthy and ready to thrive in this environment. So put it this way, it depends on the function. So if we expect them to grow, to lay down fat, as in a finishing animal, or to raise a little baby, the needs will go up and we need to respond accordingly.
As drier conditions have dried up forage supplies for many producers, Alfredo recommends looking toward the future and planning early to ensure your cattle are getting the nutritional intake that they'll need to be in optimal condition for the upcoming summer months.
This is the time to be worried or looking at summer, late winter evaluation of feeds and condition score, of course. We want these cows going back a little bit to condition score, but also to preparations for summer. We want those cows to not have lost so much condition. If we plan to keep them, this is the time to probably step up the energy in the diets, perhaps give them more corn if necessary, distillers grains, a higher energy feed to recover their reserves so they're ready to come back and breed successfully in, say, June of this year. Because of drought, pastures are probably going to be affected, so we will have to be very careful in overloading pastures with the same stocking rates as we had prior to the drought.
With strong beef prices projected as the summer grilling season comes along, it'll be in your best interest to ensure the nutrition plan you intend to implement gives your cattle the best opportunity to improve body condition and get through what could be another hot and dry summer. Reporting for Market Journal, I'm Bill Dodd.